Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Corridor Cast. I'm here by myself. It is just me.
We're just figments of Wren's imagination, and we always have been.
That kind of trips me out a little bit thinking about it. What if that's actually true? What if you guys are just figments of my imagination? What if you have no reality of your... Anyway, okay, moving on.
We are witnessing delusions
we got
of
Griffin and
grandeur
Austin
in
here
real
today.
time.
Hey
How you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
Good, man.
It's been a while since I've been on the pod.
How long has it been?
It's been however long ago we premiered season 2 of Son of a Dungeon.
Was that when you were on the podcast? Was premiering season 2? That would have been 2023, 2022.
2023? Yeah.
No,
and that was the
I think it was
first and
22.
last time I was on the podcast.
Oh wow.
And because I was one of the editors on it, and we talked about that, and it was a fun time. And
Dude, yeah, you came on for
No.
like editing for Son of a Dungeon season 2, and then you started doing a lot of like Unreal Engine renders.
Yeah.
And then you kind of started doing most of the Unreal Engine renders.
and I haven't touched Unreal since.
Yeah, you and Sam worked a lot on that. And then we're like, yeah, you're a good editor. You want to just keep editing with us? And
I said,
Now
"Hi,
you've done a lot
Skippy,
more than
sure
editing."
thing. Gee Willikers, I will, sure.
but yeah, we're working on Scale of Dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Of course we did,
Son of a Dungeon to another Scale video.
We've done a few videos together at this point. We did Minecraft last year. We did the bowling ball. We did the cannon video.
Yeah, the bowling ball most recently, and then the most recent Scale video, which is like a year ago at this point. When did that-
Almost, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's right. Because it was like I think did we finish it before I went to Burning Man, or was like it was like done right after I got back.
And
think
now
there
we're
was, like,
doing
a little
one right before you go again.
Yeah, it's
For Burning
that
Man.
time of year. I'm going to Burning Man this weekend. I'm
Burning
very
Man
excited,
scale
but it's right in the
videos.
middle of a video.
Yeah. So
The
this
first
week,
time I went was the scale of nuclear bombs, and I finished it right before I left, but there was still effects work coming in, and I wasn't able to review any of it before it went live until I finally found someone with Wi-Fi out there. They had like a Starlink, and I was able to see the more or less finished cut, and I was like, actually, okay, this is great. I have no notes. Perfect.
which is just like, how is it that like this time of the? It's always Burning Man season that we do the Scale video, and now because like basically for this week we have to shoot as much as we can,
As much as we can, yeah.
because then you'll be gone for a little while
Yeah.
to go and recover.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm going to be gone for like a week and a half, and I'm going to take an extra few days just to kind of recover from the whole thing. Because it's like, I'm probably not going to get back to LA until the following Wednesday. So it's like, we're gonna leave after the temple burns. After the man burns, then the next day the temple burns. And then I'm going to go spend a couple days in Lake Tahoe doing some epic one-wheeling. Very excited for that. I'm going to hang out with Tahoe Dave.
not lame one wheeling, epic
Whoa,
one wheeling.
Tahoe Dave?
Tahoe Dave.
The legend himself?
The legend himself,
Who's
literally.
that? I don't know who that is.
Tahoe Dave is a legend, dude. He's a really good one-wheeler. He won Race for the Rails several years ago, and he lives in Lake Tahoe with his family. His daughter actually just was in Race for the Rail. I don't know if she placed or not, but she did really well. Anyway, I'm going to hang out with them and do some one-wheeling with Jan, and then get back and spend a couple days just trying to sleep.
Yeah,
That's my plan. Anyway, so that's like
Right
2
on,
weeks that I'm not going to be here in the studio.
it's a while.
Yeah, it's
And,
also like a weird time because Nico's been out for the last week and a half, and he's out this whole week. So it's like he's out for 2 weeks, and then I'm out for 2 weeks. And so when he left, I was like, all right, see you in a month, Nico. And he's like, oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
So by the time I get back, it will have been a month since I've seen Nico. And we're supposed to be collaborating on this video. He's going to be helping with visual effects and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little weird considering this Dino video because we've been talking about this video for literally months.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, I'm doing the Scale of Dinos video. It's like, oh, I'm working on Scale of Dinos. Technically haven't really started working on it for like a month there. It was like, I think we're going to do it. It's time. Let's do it. And then I started writing it. And then I kept writing it.
Yeah.
And then I kept writing it. Yeah.
Dude, it's like every solo project that I do. I'm just like, I'm going to do this thing, man. And I'm going to
be
make this
great.
t-shirt. And
gonna
then
be
it's like a year and a half later, it's like, I'm going to start working on this.
So you're trying to get into Fusion 360.
I'm trying to get in and get out. I have a very specific project that I'm trying to do. And I mean, jokes aside, I can see a lot of cool use for it in the future. But as someone who, I'm more of a 2D guy. I like having 2 dimensions to work with, right? The limited amount of 3D stuff I've done, like in college and after college, was like physical sculpture or physically building stuff. it is so frustrating having like a display and knowing what you want to do and just being like, how do I make computer make the thing? Like, is it this button? And then it like breaks and you're like, it wasn't that button.
Yeah. Because you're not just doing like Blender 3D modeling, you're trying to do CAD modeling, which is in my opinion, a completely different approach to 3D modeling. It's not sculpting. You'd probably actually do all right with some sculpting, but since you're trying to basically take this, what would you call that frame you have? It's not a frame, it's the plexiglass print.
Oh yeah. It's
like a pinball panel.
a pinball panel.
It's like the back panel of a pinball machine.
And those are typically slightly translucent, so they're backlit and they glow. All right, you know what I mean. They not glow, but you know.
Yeah, for the chat,
they're bioluminescent.
They're bioluminescent.
My wonderful mother gave me a pinball machine panel from an old X-Men pinball game, and for a very long time I've wanted to make it into like a shadow box lamp, like basically a picture frame with LEDs in it that I can hang on the wall and it'll light up. And so I'm 3D modeling that in Fusion 360 right now. It's hard.
Although technically I think it is now just called Fusion. I just learned that this week.
Friend of the show, Fusion.
Not to be confused with DaVinci Fusion.
Yeah.
Which sometimes when I'm looking up tutorials for, I get Fusion 360 tutorials, and it becomes a whole thing.
Dude,
it takes an extra second to find what I'm looking for.
When Nick was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna model that in Fusion," I was like, "I don't know why a compositing software would be what I'd want to model this in."
Yeah, Fusion's very good for very articulate or dimensioned 3D prints. Or dimensioned models, I should say. Whereas like Blender, you move polygons around, or maybe even like sculpt and stuff. It's about getting a visual rather than getting like a dimensionally accurate thing. Whereas like Fusion and CAD modeling in general, SolidWorks for example, it's all like you start with a 2D drawing, and then from there you extrude out, and then you it's all, I don't know. I love the way Fusion works in CAD modeling in general. So you're trying to basically make a picture frame with an inset or an inlay for LEDs, and then some sort of backing that you can slot in there. So essentially, it's just like a strip with a single like cutout through it, and then another cutout for LEDs, and then another cutout for the backing of the whole thing. So like 3 little channels in a thing that can wrap around into a full square.
Yeah, that's basically it. And also, it's too big to be printed in one printer.
Right. Yeah.
Which is a whole can of worms that I'm just gonna wait to get into until I actually finish the model.
How far into this process are you?
I'm far enough that if I knew what I was doing, I could be done in 5 minutes. So I'm probably about a week out.
Yeah.
Unironically. It took me an hour to figure out how to take the rectangle and then punch the hole out of the center to make it a picture frame shape.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It was being real. I think it's something you were talking about, like, oh, well, it's all constrained, right? And I was like, I don't know what that means, man. I think that was probably something to do with why it wasn't working.
We should get you in one of the like VR 3D sculpting programs, because I feel like you'd really excel at that.
They've got like Minority Report for...
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm blanking on the name. Shaper 3D. No, that's the iPad modeling app. I'm blanking on the VR app. There's a VR modeling app that it's like you can draw with your arms. It's pretty good. So like 3D models. I'm not talking about like Tilt Brush from way back in the day.
So that's me. So I'm curious. The Scale of Dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
Pretty big.
I mean, well,
what else?
Kinda.
What else is
big.
there to? Yeah, tell me more about what without giving away any spoilers. Is there kind of anything else that you've learned, either about dinosaurs or about like research as you've been getting into this?
I know more about dinosaurs right now than I have in my entire life.
I have completely ruined my YouTube algorithm.
Yes,
absolutely demolished.
I was in bed last night watching more dinosaur videos on YouTube. Like I was watching like paleontologists answer questions.
Oh yeah, all the like the Vanity
ones?
Fair kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we have, and then like they're just sitting at a desk and like just Twitter whatever's like, what? How big is T-Rex?
Yeah, no, I saw one video last night from this dude, an ecologist channel. I forget. It was weird. He was kind of like doing reactions to himself, giving talks, like as pretending to be a viewer. I was kind of confused by it. It was strange. But he was basically like, everything you know about what T-Rexes looked like is wrong. And I'm like, uh-oh.
We have to rewrite the whole video.
This video is relatively new. What do I not know about the T-Rex? And I watched the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, no, I knew all this. This is good. They have lips.
Yeah.
They have lips.
That's a big thing. A T-Rex can kiss you.
They've-
They can plant a wet one right on you. They could have, theoretically.
That's alarming.
Yeah. But they can tell
Wow.
because of the weathering of the teeth, you know?
Exactly.
If it were exposed.
Oh, and I learned something more from that video. There's indentations on the lower jaw where they're pretty sure that's where muscles would have been attached, or ligaments, I guess. And those muscles would have been the lips.
So they had some, like, it wasn't just the lips were there. They could articulate, maybe do a little.
I don't know to what degree, but they're
It
like,
is-
there's
it is
evidence
canon.
of like soft tissue attaching here at the jaw, and more than likely that meant that it was covering the teeth, on top of the fact that the weathering of the teeth is uniform, whereas if they were actually as depicted in the movies, where they're like, the fangs are on the outside of the mouth, you know, the classic T-Rex sort of look, we would experience very severe weathering and abrasion on the outside of those teeth from just being exposed all the time, which is what we see on other animals that have that same exposure. Crocodiles, for instance, that have the exposed teeth. We see that on every crocodile. They just get worn away on the outside.
So much of what we know about dinosaurs is just like, that's a weird looking thing on that bone. Let's just look at all the other bones that we know exist today.
Yeah.
And see if we can find something that matches. And so that's how you get like that dinosaurs had feathers. Because the bones have little indentations where the feathers would be seated, essentially, and those are the same things that are on birds today.
So I was learning about how, like, a T-Rex may have not had feathers. And we actually know it didn't, at the very least, we know for a fact it wasn't fully feathered, because we found
They all
fossilized
had one
skin.
feather right at the top of their head.
Or at least, like, I don't know, because soft tissue doesn't fossilize, but they've found evidence of, like, skin imprints, or, like, the pigment of skin going into the rock and mineralizing.
Well, sometimes you see like the faint outline of like what looks like feathers, just like some like very thin lines that were
But not
like,
on a T-Rex.
But not on a T-Rex.
That's what I'm saying, is that, like, we have evidence of there not being feathers on a T-Rex, but we don't have any skin from the back of a T-Rex, and that's where there's potentially feathers. But the T-Rex was so huge, it likely didn't need feathers to stay warm, because that's what the feathers are.
Yeah.
They're insulation. So you have a smaller raptor, like velociraptors, and all the other, like, sort of theropods that stood on two legs and were mobile, the raptors and whatnot. They all had feathers, and there's evidence now that their feathers were incredibly colorful. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And we don't know whether or not they're cold-blooded or warm-blooded. We know that the, like the T-Rex, for instance, was probably warm-blooded, but I don't know.
Wait a second. Lizard can't be warm-blooded?
Lizards are cold-blooded. Dinosaurs are not lizards.
Dinosaur bird.
Dinosaur
Bird warm, lizard cold, lizard not dinosaur.
So-
That's what I mean, is that, like, we have lizards and birds, cold-blooded, and
We have lizards and we have birds.
lizards, of course, are cold-blooded. Birds are warm-blooded. Dinosaurs are kind of, they're both descended from dinosaurs to a degree, and it's like, or they both branched off from the same branch millions and millions of years ago,
Some
and
ancient nematode.
so it's like they could have been warm-blooded, they could have been cold-blooded. Some of the dinosaurs may have been cold-blooded. We know other dinosaurs would have been warm-blooded. It's a weird thing.
And you never know. It was like, the beta period of life, on Earth. So everything kind of
was.
went, like anything
Total
could go.
betas,
Dinosaurs are betas, and that's why they got wiped out. And that's why we're the alphas that are still around today.
And also there's the whole concept that, like, I'm learning more and more about how creatures get big. Like
Griffin.
like Griffin.
We just have to get your macros in, and you gotta go,
Actually, no,
get your
that's
fuel.
exactly it. There is so much food back in the day because there's so much plant life, and then you have an uninterrupted 100 million year time frame for creatures to just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's plenty of food to support it. We're talking about
And
whales,
oxygen.
for instance, and whales are huge because krill is so numerous in the ocean. Krill, for those of you who don't know, are basically the main food of whales. They're tiny, like, fingernail-sized shrimp. And they are some of the most abundant life forms on the planet.
They're also the
they're
main
like,
food source for Nick as well.
for Nick. Yeah. At this point, he is shrimp.
He is krill.
He is krill.
He's Mama Krill.
Dude, Nick Krill.
The Nick Krill show. But yeah, they'd be multiplying.
So it just comes down to, like, food supply, like, and given enough millions of years. given enough millions of years and a plentiful food supply over that time, evolution will naturally start getting larger and larger. Plus, like the gut of a large beast eating nothing but, say, plant life, you have to have a lot of bacteria in the gut. So you need to have a very large gut biome in order to digest plants if you're a herbivore specifically. And so, yeah, it's like, because people ask, why aren't current animals as big as dinosaurs?
Except for Griffin.
Why aren't current dinosaurs as big as Griffin?
Yeah.
Care to weigh in on that?
Oof. I got nothing.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it basically comes... What I was kind of realizing is that it's only been 66 million years since the dinosaurs died. And from that time, the only mammals to have survived were like this big. Maybe some of them were a little bit bigger, but for the most part, they were relatively small. Is our internet all right?
No, just iOS app isn't working.
Oh, really?
That's all good. Yeah, just
Huh.
people-
Did you try force quitting? Like force kill the app and come back? Anyway, that's my aside. I was just looking at the chat and people are... Anyway,
That is crazy though. That
Why
like
are the dinosaurs not as big?
yes.
Yeah.
As they were.
There's not been enough time. African elephants are massive, but it's only been 66 million years since the dinosaurs went away, and they got up to this point.
The first elephant was spotted 66 years ago. And when he was spotted, he was this big. And now he's huge.
So imagine giving it another 40 million years, right? Mm-hmm. Could elephants eventually evolve into massive creatures, assuming there are no humans on the planet to, wreck the ecosystem and take away all the trees and biomass for them to eat? But
Because now we're sort of the limit.
we are
to the
100%
rest of
the
the
limit.
creatures.
man, it is kind of crazy that like at the beginning of this explanation, we were just like joking about how it's like, oh, how do animals get big? It's just chicken, broccoli, rice. But like that the answer is essentially that it's like
Yeah.
macros, time, sleep, like
Yeah.
Proto
it's-
chicken, proto broccoli, and proto rice.
Dude, well, I found out today that they had birds back then, which means that they had chickens.
They did have chicken.
They had plants, which means they had broccoli as a plant.
But chicken was just a big T-Rex.
There are probably other plants.
Wait, do you say chicken is just a big T-Rex?
No, T-Rex is just a big chicken.
Chat, run it back.
The other thing is that, so the T-Rex is the largest predator to have ever lived, but it was also right at the end of the dinosaurs. Like, the T-Rex specifically started 69-ish million years ago, and they
had
died
a
out.
measly 3 million
my
years,
God.
to roam around.
And also, it evolved. There are other pre-T-Rex dinos that were a little bit smaller, a little bit different.
QRS Rexes.
What?
Because Q, R, and S will come before T.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay, that's good. That was a little too smart for me.
QRS.
Give it a couple million years and your brain will get big enough to understand that.
I don't know. It's just kind of wild to think about just the time scale of this stuff. And it's like the T-Rexes were the literal final evolution of the theropod dinosaur like predator, right? They were the final apex predator of the planet.
Wow.
Until Griffin.
Until Griffin, yeah. And it's like there is the Allosaurus, which looks a lot like a T-Rex, but came 80 million years before the T-Rex and was a lot smaller, but similar looking. Yeah. And what's crazy is that about the T-Rex teeth are designed for crunching bone. And so they didn't just pick at the meat of a carcass and leave the bones, but they ate it all, like bones and all.
Wow.
That is something I think about when I watch Jurassic Park, when we're looking at clips from Rebirth and all that, is in the Quetzalcoatlus. In that scene, it swallows a dude whole
Yeah.
and then keeps going. And it's I guess that kind of dinosaur probably swallows something whole, doesn't have teeth. It's just sort of like a gull, just kind of throws it down. But then they always continue their rampage. And I'm would it keep going? That guy was the height of its stomach. And it's I feel it'd be full after that. It's got to digest that. But it's every single time in these dino movies,
Still aggressive.
they take they swallow humans down whole, multiple, and then they just keep going. And
Yeah.
it's I feel they got to have some time. It's like you can't get in the pool, 30 minutes after you eat. I
That's
feel
a
like
myth.
you can't swallow another dude down until you give it a nap or two.
I mean,
That's sort of a tangent, but that was just something that that was bugging me when I was looking at that footage. It was just like they're still hungry.
Well, is it hungry or is it defending its nest?
But if it's defending its nest, it doesn't need to swallow them whole. You can just bat them away.
Yeah.
But if they made like the dinosaurs feeding like hyper realistic, I feel like that would make for not only a bad movie but a really like unpleasant movie. If if a pterodactyl like iced a dude and then spent like
uses
45
ice powers, which we don't know if they didn't have.
right? There's no way to
No
know.
one
But like
knows.
just like murks a dude locked off camera for like 2 hours of it just like picking the meat off of his skeleton.
Yeah.
Like no music, no score, no like.
Or do the top half and then throw the bottom half in a Tupperware
Mm-hmm.
and then get to it later.
There's a comment asking, would a T-Rex really want to eat a person? Seems like such a small bite. And here's the thing, though, is that it's basically proven that predators are not picky. They do not skip a free meal. It's like if there's a person there and it's like within biting distance, it's like, yeah, they will bite the
I'll bite.
person. They will they're not going to pass that up. They're like, oh, sick. All right. Yeah, it's just a snack wrap, but whatever.
Yeah, especially if you're in like survival out in the wild, it's like
You don't know where your next dude's coming from.
With dinos eating bones and all, would they barf up pellets like owls? I don't know about that, but we've
That's a good
found
question.
fossilized bone chunks in their gut, which is kind of nuts.
They fossilize so hard that the bones, even outside of their bones, got fossilized.
maybe the bones are their money.
and the skeletons, I forget. I don't remember.
Skeletons
rest
are
of that
the
sketch. He's
worms.
referencing a sketch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was like,
I figure for anyone who liked the coffin flop reference in Marble Run.
Yeah.
I still don't get the coffin flop reference.
Dude.
It's like the best sketch from I Think You Should Leave.
Just look up coffin flop on
Yeah.
YouTube.
We'll let you
safe
discover it
search
on your
on,
own.
and it's funny.
It's okay because I don't got any.
I had to look it up actually after the video as well, but I do like. I think you should leave. So it was a good bit.
I did not see that a Texas flood revealed a dinosaur footprint. That's kind of cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, anyway, my whole life currently is around dinosaurs, but you know what the real struggle is for me right now? Satisfying renders.
Oh.
Oh yeah. The
Oh.
audience doesn't even know yet.
They don't
I don't
even know. They have no idea.
No. Is
What
that
you-
video supposed
what
to
you
come
put
out
us through.
It's gonna come out next Saturday.
next Saturday? Not this
'Cause-
Saturday?
Yeah, Nick's editing it, but he's got a little
Yeah, fair.
much to finish.
So we did a satisfying render. There's a few of us who participated. It was like, we didn't have Sam, did we? It was
No.
Jordan, Emmett the intern, Peter,
the intern,
myself,
And Dean.
and Dean. Yeah, and Dean.
Deanster.
And everyone made really good renders at the end.
Great runner renders. Me and Griffin judged it.
That's right. You guys were the
Yeah.
judges.
Actually, all of us here were on that video.
Yeah.
Um,
I had to pull a Peter.
An old school Peter. man.
Yeah.
Old school Peter.
Peter did a new school Peter this time, and he was done early.
Yeah.
Wren, however,
I had to pull the napkin. I had to. Not actually. I had a grayscale render to show. I basically finished my render, but we were having internet issues, so I couldn't use the render network because I couldn't upload my 4 GB file. Yeah, it was a mess. Also,
looked-
I didn't finish sound design, but I had it all planned out. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna finish it. I
I
think for the
imagine it
video it's
sounded
gonna be
cool.
finished. But I missed my own advice. I didn't keep it simple. I got a little too complicated.
I do remember walking up to your desk a few days before the renders were due, and I mean, slight spoiler, there are gears involved in the satisfying render. And I was asking you how it was going, and you're explaining to me how you're trying to like very accurately get the gears to work, and so to get the ratios in a
Yep.
proper sense, so
Yep.
that the big wheel spins at a certain rate compared to the small wheels, and you had a lot of gears going on in that thing. Where
I
it's
had
like,
too many gears.
you can maybe do 2 gears. You had like 8 gears.
Yeah.
going on
Were
in
you
there.
using Fusion?
No,
Oh,
I was using Cinema 4D for that.
Interesting. Okay. Wow.
Fusion I use for
Unexpected.
like modeling, but for this I was like gears are pretty relatively simple.
Or if you're gonna go 8 gears,
Modeling is
make
at
them all
least.
like the same size. I feel like you had 8 uniquely sized gears that all need different rates of spinning.
But that was the thing though, is that like
But it
I
does
needed-
make it cool looking though. It's like more it like looks more satisfying because you're getting this more like complex machinery that's
I
moving
definitely
perfectly.
I chose gears that had too aggressive of a gear ratio, so it was like 500 to 1. So it's like the main gear that's spinning the golf club. I've talked about this on the podcast before, that I got this really cool idea for a satisfying render involving like a mechanized golf club swing, perfectly hitting the golf ball every time. Because I was like, I wanted to have the sound of that golf ball flap, pa, pa, along with the yeah, so that was the idea behind the render, is just satisfying golf hits, and I wanted to have this gear thing. The problem though is that like, so I have the big gear that's turning by a small gear, and that small gear is attached to another big gear, and that big gear is being moved by a small gear, and that small gear is being attached by a big gear. So you end up with like the gears at the end of the chain that are actually moving all of it are spinning so fast that you can't even see it. They're just pure motion blur, even at 60 frames per second. And so it's like, I don't know. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on setting up the gear system. I spent more time on just developing the whole machine itself with all the friggin' 80-20 panels of aluminum and all that stuff, and the golf club, and
What's it like?
making
Usually-
all the grass and all the trees.
It
The
is
whole
very
thing.
satisfying. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
guys are
even
in
a
for a treat.
grayscale.
Watch the video when
if he
it's out.
finishes it.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
the
now he
thing.
has to
If I
finish
finish
it.
it,
Watch
because
the video to
I'm
find out
this
if
is
he
my last
finishes
week
it.
here, and then I'm dead.
Yeah, we're having to cram in a bunch of dinos, and then also you have to finish your satisfying render.
Because this year he is the man.
He is
Fred
the only
Burning
burnt this year as the man.
I am the man.
That's
Um,
the twist.
man of Burn.
Chat, you know, it's Burning Man. It's free
Burning
if you
Ran.
show up, but you might have to be the man.
One lucky person gets to be the man every year, and
Very
that's it.
lucky.
But yeah, it's like I feel like lots of times, like a lot of times with these satisfying renders, people make like very complex, like little machinery
Yeah.
systems that work, but it's like you have all of the parts of it aren't actually real. They're not. You don't see them. You know, it's like
Sure.
you have some panels that cover it up,
Sure.
and you know it's just what you see on camera. But I feel like you made the actual machine to make an automated golf swing.
Well, I mean, the machine is very visible in the shot, and
Yeah,
that was part of it
exactly.
for me. Is I wanted to have like the satisfying gear mechanism, like if you look at an old clock or like a really macro shot of a watch working and all the
Oh, yeah.
gears moving in tandem. It's like
Very
there's
satisfying.
something satisfying about that. So that's what I was kind of trying to go for.
It was ambitious.
It was more ambitious than it should have been, and it's one of those things. It's like I feel like with the bubble wrap render, I nailed it, because the bubble wrap render took me maybe 3 days to make.
What's the thing too? It's like
Maybe.
you are coming off of the bubble wrap render, so like you can get a bye week. You know, like it's like you went simple for that one. That one did crazy.
It's over 300 million
Yeah.
views.
So
Which
I
is
feel like
insane.
you earned yourself a napkin render. You know, you can't kill yourself.
Honestly,
over it.
there's a little bit there when I was starting to stress over finishing the render in time, and I was like, do I have to? Do I, like you say, do I get a bye week? Is this okay?
it's a funny part of the video,
Yeah.
as we all realize.
But I'm gonna try to finish that. Yeah. But yeah, since finishing this one, the camera is mostly static, and there's like this conveyor belt bringing in new golf balls, and that's the only thing moving. Whereas I've realized my two most viral satisfying renders have a moving camera that's just slow and steady and constant.
Yeah.
Like the puzzle piece render, the camera's slowly moving to the side. The bubble wrap render, also slowly moving backwards. And so you have to make sure that your ground is tiled correctly so that you don't get like a hard cut when it repeats. Every time I've not done that, my renders have not done as well.
There's something innately
Interesting.
satisfying about a smooth camera movement.
I guess so.
You know.
Like, I think that's an undersold part of the equation there. You know, it's obviously sound design is a huge part of it. Having a satisfying visual is a huge part of it. But I think that slow, consistent movement kind of just tricks your brain into continuing to watch because it's constantly moving.
That
So
does
maybe
make sense. 'Cause
moving
we're,
forward, you
like,
know?
our you know, we are hardwired to like track movement with our eyes.
Like a T-Rex, they could only see motion.
Mm-hmm.
Not
That's
true.
scientific.
Not true at all.
And
Just you wait. So maybe the fix to it is instead of the machine having a conveyor belt of golf balls going on, the machine's on a conveyor belt, and it's just moving along a platform of different golf balls. And
Yeah.
so the machine would be moving, and the camera's following the machine.
Yeah, but then
Oh.
what would you do with the background?
Wait, here I got it.
You're just going through a huge forest, a huge golf course.
There's the conveyor belt. There's the conveyor
Do the
belt of
entirety
golf
of
balls,
Mar-a-Lago.
right? And the conveyor belt brings the golf ball by a series of T-Rexes who just give it a little kiss with their prehensile lips.
They're
Prehensile?
Yeah, just a little.
Prehensile.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that word means.
like a prehensile tail is like
Yeah.
like a monkey can move its tail freely.
I'm
you
pretty
know?
sure it's not the like a correct word for that scenario because like prehensile tail is like a like a monkey's tail that it can
It can like wrap
use
around
to
something if it
manipulate
needs.
Is that
things.
like, is that what it means? What does hensile mean? I'm fascinated. I don't know what this word means.
All I know is pre.
Dude, what about a post-tensile?
Post-tensile.
Dude, that's after
Okay,
Jim Henson.
prehensile, chiefly of an animal's limb or tail, capable of grasping. Oh,
So I think
dude, I've got
using the evidence-
prehensile toes.
a T-Rex has
True.
got prehensile lips. It's grasping those.
Just it curls, the lips reach out and curl around.
We
it.
don't know how long they
Ooh.
were.
We
You know?
Dude, what if they had floppy lips?
They got
Oh
big
my
old
God,
floppy
dude.
lips.
New
Their
sleep
lips are
paralysis
just like
demon.
flopping around like
Like instead of
friggin'
using like a sticky
ears,
tongue to
elephant
grab prey, it just has both lips just like,
Wow, I know what I'm having for a nightmare tonight.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
and you all are too.
I had this last night, I had a dream that I
the
moved
tonight.
The Tonight Show.
in. I had a dream that I moved in with you and Jenna.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It was
Were they
Dude,
happy about it? Or was
You'd
it
be
like
a good roommate. I'd be down for
Yeah,
that.
it was
like-
pretty. I'm very clean. I'm a very, very clean person.
Certainly a lot cleaner than us.
I have like recurring. I have like recurring. I don't want to say nightmares because it's really melodramatic, but I have rent control and I have recurring bad dreams about like losing
that?
my apartment.
Mm.
And so in this dream last night, it was like, oh, okay, well, like, oh, that's fine because like me and Jenna and Wren are getting a place, and it was all right.
you're going into a new place.
You guys are moving.
You're not
in
moving into
together.
their current place. You
Correct,
guys are
yeah.
all apartment hunting together,
Yeah.
and you found like a beautiful
Oh, and it was dope.
two-bedroom.
It was dope. I had a bedroom with an ensuite bathroom and an ensuite full kitchen, and
Whoa.
it was on the west side of Pasadena, right next to Highland Park, which isn't how geography works.
Lovely.
but-
Yeah, that's not. I mean, maybe
I mean,
no,
yeah, like
not
west
really.
of-
There's like a whole
Yeah.
there's a whole area in there between those two spots, but sure.
So it was sad because I lost my apartment, but it worked out because like we got a really cool place that we could all afford, and
Yeah,
it was
you
nice.
gained a family.
That's cool
It
to
was in
hear.
a great location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool to hear you're dreaming about us.
Yeah.
Did
It
your
was
dream
nice.
like tell you why you lost your apartment, or was it just like you didn't even lose it, but you guys just thought it'd be fun to move into with each other?
It was kind
Yeah.
of like it wasn't really like a thing. It was just like, oh man, I have to move. That's so sad.
Yeah.
But cool new roommates.
I feel like I get a lot of dreams that are like really big inconveniences that last super long. Where if I was having that dream, it would be like, it wouldn't be that we moved in. It would be like waiting for the realtor to show up so that we can get a tour of the place. And I'd be standing there with them for like an hour in dream time.
Oh my
You know, and would just be like, I mean, we have another showing at in half an hour. We got to get to it, but we can't leave until this guy gets here and lets us into the building. I had a dream when I was a kid that my house, my entire house and everything in it turned into sand, and we were all like, it was like my sister, my dad, and I were just like, oh my god, everything's turning into sand. Get out to the driveway. We ran out to the driveway, and then the dream continued an uncomfortably long time after that. We're just on the driveway and we're like,
Same.
we're gonna have to get a hotel. Like, I don't know. Like,
You're starting to worry about logistics
yeah, we're
in
just
your
like,
dream.
well, I don't think the insurance is gonna cover this. You know, it's like rent. Like, it's like they don't really do sand. Whole house turns to sand coverage.
Dude, how am I gonna
Um,
get to work? My shoes are sand.
Well, yeah, it's like I got school tomorrow, and it's like we're gonna need to
Oh,
find like
school.
a hotel, and it's like
My
yeah,
homeless
it's-
turned to sand.
Yeah, because I had this dream when I was
they'll
like,
never believe it.
I had this dream when I was in like high school or middle school or something like that. So it's like, I'm just like, everyone's gonna know me as like the guy whose house turned to sand. This sucks. And Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of dreams that are like that. They don't get to be as fun as actually, getting to move in with the people. It's like I have to fill out the application.
It's just
They're doing a credit check. God damn.
bureaucratic nightmares.
Yeah, that's sort of how it goes for me mentally. Yeah.
My favorite dreams are always either flying or telekinesis.
Oh, that's
Those are,
dope.
and I get them with some degree of regularity. I'm quite pleased about that. And it's never just like easy flying. It always requires a lot of focus. I remember every time in the dream, it's like it requires a lot of focus and concentration, but then I'm able to actually fly and move around or like move something telekinetically.
Oh
Yeah, that's cool. I get the dreams where my teeth are loose.
I've never gotten
And
those
then I have
dreams.
to and
those
then I have to like
suck.
arrange an appointment with a dentist.
Actually, I take it back. I remember one dream that was like that, where I remember biting down and imagine all of your teeth folding outwards.
Hey.
Oh.
And folding outwards to a point. So it's like, imagine you got the teeth on the side, right? They're like this. They fold outwards, and then you're able to close your mouth even further because your teeth are out of the way. I remember just like biting down and feeling my teeth fill out my cheeks, like, "Brr," and then I could close my mouth further, like those like you see those guys who don't have teeth and their mouths close an uncomfortably small
like
amount.
their cheeks are like a little loose, And you're like something's going
Their
on.
chin
here.
is too high.
Yeah.
How? Why is the distance between their nose and chin so little?
And we have no way of
Goals.
knowing if that's how T-Rexes ate.
This is how it comes full circle. Yeah.
Full circle, back to dinos.
Oh,
I saw a
wow.
comment talking about how the T-Rex not being able to detect anything other than motion was debunked in the second Jurassic Park book, The Lost World.
Was that a
Interesting.
part of the first book, or was that just for the movie?
I honestly haven't read either of the books, but in the movies, they established that like they only see motion.
Yeah.
Like stay perfectly still, and the T-Rex won't know you're there. That was completely made up. There was never any sort of factual basis behind that. But apparently in the second book, it was debunked according to the comments of this episode. And there's a scene where I guess he was trying to steal an egg, he being some guy. And
Jeff Goldblum.
he tried to be completely still, and the T-Rex was like, "Nah, I see you."
Yeah. Maybe the T-Rex in the first Jurassic Park was just like dumb.
Well,
You know?
maybe.
It's like
kind of
they
thing
had a
that-
bad cloning, a bad batch. Of
A
its
bad
DNA.
batch of Rexes.
I feel like that it makes for like a good movie moment, but if you stop and think about it for even a second, like why would a creature like just evolutionarily, why would the creature that can only see motion survive better and propagate those genes more than a creature that can see something trying to hide and eat it? Like,
Because also, like, whenever the T-Rex moves its head, is it just like, food everywhere? Because, like, everything's moving.
sees a cloud, yeah,
Just starts running, yeah. And
cloud.
then the more it runs after the food, the more food it sees. That's sort of like this, like, horrible existence, actually. And its teeth are gummy.
Just trying to grab
Once
everything
it
with
finally does find food, it tries to bite it, and then its teeth just splay out.
it's got those prehensile teeth and
Yeah.
those
Prehensile teeth.
just wiggling all over the place.
But it,
Oh
like,
my God.
it is like
Oh
it's
my
a
God.
good like it was good for the movie because it's like you need to give that dinosaur a weakness because it is just like they see you, they chomp you, and that's
Yeah.
it. It's like you can't outrun them, like you're gonna die, and so it's like you need to give them one weakness, and I feel like that's one that like sure, maybe it's like that. I don't know.
And so the thing that I found fascinating about T-Rexes, and this is slightly spoilery for the video, but they not only had incredible vision. That's going to be the main thing because I've not really seen too many people talk about T-Rex eyeballs. They were huge. They're like 5 inches in diameter, and typically there's a correlation between the size of an eye and the quality of the eye of the vision, right? Because it's like the bigger the eyeball, the more cones and rods you can fit in them. That's not necessarily the case because you have to have a good optic nerve to support all of that. But there's literally evidence of a very robust optical nerve on a T-Rex. In fact, the proportion between the size of the eyeball and the brain is much higher than almost any other creature.
Like if
Interesting.
an eyeball small, brain small.
No. Like, the brain is smaller on the T-Rex proportionately to its eyeball. So, like, the brain and the eyeball are closer to the same size than, say, our eye and brain. So that, yeah.
Because
But
our
there's a
eyes
lot
are
of-
much smaller than our brains.
Yes.
Yes.
But the T-Rex's eyes is not as
Speak for
small.
yourself.
As our eyes are
Compared-
small to our brains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, they had arguably some of the most incredible sense of smell. You know how dogs have really good senses of smell because they got like big noses?
Big nose.
A T-Rex head is essentially just one giant nose. They could smell stuff from really far away in an incredibly high resolution. On top of that, they had pretty good hearing, but their hearing was able to detect very, very, very low frequency sound waves. Very good at detecting that. So they can hear like a large herbivore breathing from a large distance away. And the other thing, T-Rexes, that crazy iconic roar. Chances are most dinosaurs were silent.
That makes sense because, like, freaking. Well, actually, I don't know. If you look at like all the lizards we got, they kind of just like hiss. But if you look at the birds,
Exactly.
we
Yeah,
got
they don't do
loud
nothing.
birds though.
We do have
birds
loud
are
birds.
loud.
Yeah.
But like the T-Rex was more than likely just a silent little hunter. And it probably just, it was able to hear prey and smell prey from really far away. And with its padded feet, probably just walked very quietly, kind of ambushing the prey. And,
Oh my god, that's scary, dude.
and at the last moment was able to sprint and grab onto it. It's like that was the T-Rex's whole thing, is that they could grab onto a herbivore and just crunch it and kill it instantly.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
we're
my
talking like
God,
the
dude.
big ones, like the size of a freaking cow or bigger.
Yeah.
Right? Like these huge herbivore dinosaurs, they would like grab onto the back and crunch it and just break the spine immediately, and just like, and it would, even if it didn't, it's not escaping that jaw. It's like it's a vice grip.
But it's also like
That's
it
so
makes sense
busted.
too if like you're out in the wild, the more noise you make, the more you're telling everybody where you are to be eaten.
Exactly.
And you know, even like
to be eaten.
like cats, you know, it's like like cats, like domesticated cats meow a lot to you, but they don't meow a lot
to
to other
anything
cats.
else.
You know, it's
Yeah.
obviously like
Yeah.
if they're in a fight, they'll be like, ow, ouch, ah! But like, but in meow,
Ouch!
meows, in meow speak. But like, yeah, generally cats are like meowing to us because domesticated cats are in like kind of like perpetual baby mode, and it's just like kittens will like mew to their mama.
Interesting. Interesting.
But yeah, it's like, they're not really doing a lot of talking otherwise to each other or just in the wild, which makes sense. They're
Yeah.
they're predators that need to like be hush hush so they can sneak up on their fella.
Well, that also like when you think about like other animals, other large predators that roar, like a lot of times it's for like territorial reasons or like to try and intimidate a rival of the same species. So I'm just thinking like if T-Rex is bird, when hunting not make much noise, but if another T-Rex is around, is it gonna squawk? Like how busted would that be? Like a giant squawking murdered chicken, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We'll never know.
We will, yeah.
We'll never know.
That's kind of one of like the really like wonderful and beautiful kind of melancholy things about existence on this planet. Is like I was watching the with subtitles the epic of what's it called, the Epic of Gilgamesh
Oh,
in
yeah, sure.
Sumerian,
Uh-huh.
and like all this stuff, and it's like, oh my god, this is like a story that was written down by some dude like 4,200 years ago in a stone tablet, and like there's so much we will never know about his life, about life in Sumer, about all these things, and they were just as human as the rest of us. Like they had lives like we did. They had conversations like this. They had, crushes. They had rivalries. They had sick days, and there's absolutely no way to know about almost any of that, and that doesn't make any of it less real or less meaningful. But it just happened so long ago, and now it's floating around in the dust all around us, and that's just another beautiful thing about the world we live
Yeah.
in.
It's so beautiful.
You want to know something that I've started subscribing to mentally, is the idea of prehistoric civilizations existing before our current understanding of civilizations start. So like roughly
Dino neighborhoods.
No. No. What? Dino
Like
neighborhoods?
Dino HOAs.
Oh man,
Like
My
they could have
freaking-
they could have had a bit more of a society than we'd give them credit for.
Freaking Tyrannosaurus neighbor yelled at cave wife, I need to get in my cave car. And
But like humans have been around for 200,000 or 300,000 years in the current biological sense of human, like basically looking and thinking exactly like we do today. Granted, there are like nutritional differences for the vast majority of time, so people were probably shorter, or were generally shorter, didn't live longer than the age of 30 typically. but we're capable of living longer. Just things killed us.
Well, also the
easier.
average is kind of skewed because of how big the child mortality rate was. Too.
Great point.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But like my point is that there is a couple 100,000 years of human society, and they could have developed some sort of society, and there's just so much time has elapsed that there is literally no physical trace of it left. It's impossible. Tools and stuff like that we can kind of find from long ago. Granted, this is not that substantiated. I'm going off the deep end a little bit on here into speculation and conspiracy land, but like I love the idea.
Revive archaeologists.
Yeah, but like, because essentially the general consensus is that society more or less started around 10,000 years ago. With civilizations, small settlements of like people working together and stuff like that, and there's traces of that in the Middle East and whatnot. But there are ice ages, multiple ice ages over the course of the last several 100,000 years. And what's interesting is that during an ice age, you get all of this ice on land, a mile thick. Most of North America was covered in a mile of ice.
That's a lot.
For thousands of years. And all of that ice used to be in the ocean. So what that means is that ocean, the sea level was a lot lower. And humans typically like to have civilization right on the waterfront. And so if there is any evidence of civilization, it's likely buried under a couple 100 feet of water.
Atlantis.
Atlantis.
All over. Atlantis all over.
Yeah, and again, I have zero expertise in any of this, so I don't claim to know anything. I just like the thought experiment of wondering, what if there was a bit of a civilization? Because I started going down the rabbit hole a little bit on this, is like, okay, what could last the test of time? Like today, like how long would it take for every trace of today's world to disappear? Granted, now we're at
But
the
way things are
post-nuclear
going,
society.
Yeah, it's like,
Well, I meant
2
like-
or 3 years.
Like iron, for instance, would disappear over the course of a few thousand years. It would rust away into dust. Glass and stuff like that would break down into dust over time. The nuclear age changes everything. Now there's like an explicit line in the fossil record where humans have lived and stuff like that. But if you're to take just an arbitrary 1500, the year's 1500, feudalism and all that stuff, maybe there is some part of that could have existed thousands and thousands of years ago. Ships, canoes, and stuff like that. Society that actually knew some science to some degree to be able to make a boat. But that sort of thing couldn't have lasted more than a few thousand years. For instance, the Great Pyramids of Giza there will be no more trace of them in about 50,000 years. They'll be buried or eroded away. Sure, there's the most likely evidence against this is that like there probably is something that could have lasted all that time and we've just never found it, so there's no evidence that humans ever actually did have civilizations.
Yeah, I imagine
Before
that's what
that-
makes like paleontologists and like archaeologists and stuff just like that. I bet that's what makes them tick. You know, it's just like there is that one thing that they could find
Yeah.
that explains so much or just like reveals so much. And this also is part of the dino thing too, of like the fossil record and how even though we have, hundreds and thousands of species of dinosaurs, that we found, that's still such a tiny sliver of all the dinosaurs that probably did exist.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to be fossilized.
It's hard to be fossilized, and it's also very rare to be in a situation where you could be fossilized.
Yeah.
Like you have to die in an estuary and quickly get covered with sand and be in a very oxygen deprived environment for a long period of time just to be eligible for fossilization.
So if T-Rexes didn't like to hang out around a lot of estuaries for their HOA meetings, we would have never known that they're even a thing,
And the crazy thing about T-Rexes is that it's estimated that over the course of the couple million years they existed, that there were approximately 1 billion T-Rexes that have existed.
Oh wow.
1 billion of them.
They're the most like abundant.
Hopefully not
Yeah.
all at one time.
No, it was definitely not all
over
at once.
millions of years. Yeah,
That
But-
would
couple million.
suck.
I also wonder, like, what sort of bias is involved with seeing how many because like T-Rexes were mostly in North America. There was some family, some cousins of T-Rexes that were in Asia, but for the most part, they're mostly all in North America. And we have found so many T-Rex skeletons. They are very well documented, and I wonder how much of that is due to the fact that they're the most recent dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we have evidence
good
of
point.
dinosaurs like the Stegosaurus, for instance. They were 100 million years before the T-Rex, and we don't have as many of them.
Because it could also be like at that point in Earth's history too, maybe just like the climate was more attuned to fossilization or something. Like, you know, it's like maybe it was harder to become a fossil when there was, you know, crazier, like it was like hotter and things would, you know, burn up or
Yeah.
something, you know. But then when the T-Rexes were around, it's like, okay, things have like chilled out maybe a little bit more, so there's time for them to get sunk in some mud. And
There were
into
minor
rock.
extinction events between the Jurassic. Sorry, what was the Triassic to the Jurassic to the Cretaceous time periods? There were small extinction events from essentially climate change.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the climate kind of turned into a thing where over the course of a million years, all these dinosaurs more or less died out, except for a small sect. Like you have 100% dinosaurs and you get down to 10%. And that 10% over the course of the next 50 million years becomes 100%. They expand. And then another extinction event wipes out 90% of them. And you have the 10% left over. And then you have the asteroid hitting, which wipes out like 99% of all creatures. But you still have that 1% that survives. And then that expands into 100% over the course of millions of years. It's fascinating.
Yeah,
And
it's
this
been
is-
one of
yeah.
the more fun videos to research because it's like
Yeah.
like Minecraft is a very fun video to make, but it's also like, you know, I'm looking at blocks, you know. But this is like we're learning like some like extra, you know, interesting like real history facts about dinosaurs, and our post-it board has been up for months now with just the most
Yeah.
insane random post-its. If you look in the background of some corridor videos, I feel like it's
there.
probably been
It's still there.
there.
It's still there.
We have like a lot of those random facts like that, but then also a lot too that aren't gonna make it in the video. Like,
Yeah.
how much dino fart make ozone bad? And one that just says I have one that says biggest and one that says smallest. We'll get around there, you know.
The smallest dinosaur was about the size of a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And there actually probably was a lot smaller dinosaurs than that. They just didn't get fossilized. So we don't
Tiny.
know. Anyway, this has been a very dinosaur-heavy podcast. I hope you guys are
Yeah, that's our
interested.
special
Your
interest right now.
5-year-olds or 5-year-old viewers are going to be so stoked.
Yeah, send this to your nephew.
Dude, nephews rejoice.
This is the nephew cast.
Do nephews react to bad and great dinosaur facts?
Yeah.
That should be the title of this podcast.
You know, speaking of nephews, you know what else we should talk about?
Oh,
Our nephews?
Our
I don't have a nephew.
our group collective nephew, Emmett.
Oh,
He's gone.
he's gone.
He's freaking
R.I.P.
gone.
He's passed.
He's very much alive.
He's
He's doing great.
for now.
I mean, let's
You
see if
never
he
know.
survives college. He got accepted to USC, and he is now, I think, this week starting his first week of college.
Yeah,
Or maybe
he had
next
his
week.
his last day last Thursday. We took him out to get lunch, and his last video was that satisfying render.
Yeah.
So he's leaving on a nice high note. But yeah, now he's going to go off to USC and he's going to, you know, learn from George Lucas or something. I don't know. I don't know what they do there.
Wait, don't tease George Lucas and then not deliver. We learned that the hard way from that vlog.
Yeah, we had a vlog. Yeah,
Wait, what do you mean?
in our sketch premiere vlog. The
Oh,
thumbnail is George
oh.
Lucas,
Right.
and you know, rightfully so. People were like, "That's not George Lucas."
It's George Marcus.
I mean, we have
alright.
no way of knowing whether or not it was George Lucas. It was pretty dark in there.
I was sitting next to him. It was definitely George Marcus.
Luke Georges.
Luke.
Luke Georges.
Yeah, so Emmett's been around for like, what, 2 years at
Yeah.
Corridor? He started as like a junior in high school, or about to start his junior year of high school.
He's like,
He has
As
like
an
summer of
intern,
that
he's like
year. I think.
16.
And now he's
Yeah.
got a beard.
He's-
Well,
you know,
he's got
He's trying.
got facial
He's
hair.
working on it.
yeah.
he's working on it. I
We
mean,
were all there. We all had this.
I'm still not there.
Yeah, and this is all I can do. So
Certainly a lot more than I can do.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing is I can't do facial hair. I've tried. Doesn't
yeah.
work.
So any Emmett heads out there, who knows when we'll see him next? He's
Yeah,
off
it
doing
was
his
like-
thing.
I don't know if he was necessarily asking for advice about college. You and I were there talking with him, and it was just kind of like, I guess the advice can be applied to a lot of people. Is like, okay, he's going into film school, but he's already, depending on what he wants to do, if he wants to make like be a CG artist and whatnot, he's already got an incredible demo reel of
Oh,
what
yeah,
he can do. He's
totally.
Same.
making these short films that are high level, high level of like quality and polish that demonstrate he's capable of doing all of these advanced things. But there's value in school for not just like the learning about art side of things, but also just socializing. I think that's an underappreciated aspect of college when considering college, is like growing as a person by being around other people and socializing that way. There's a lot of value in that in college, as opposed to just like, all right, I'm paying all this money to go to college and I better learn the stuff that I can only get from college. If you're going to film school, you don't technically have to go to film school to be a filmmaker.
Well,
you know?
the age-old film debate is. Hey, though someone was asking us to do film philosophy earlier in the chat.
Here we go.
We're here. We're there. We're there.
Yeah.
It's like obviously that's a very classic debate of like, is it worth it or not? And I feel like it really just depends like on the kind of person that you are. Like if you are like a really social person, like so much of the film industry is social and it's like networking and all that. And so
Sure.
you may not need it if you are a social person. But like for me, I went to film school in Florida, and I feel like I absolutely needed that because like I don't have that like freelance mindset, grind set.
Sure.
You know, like that's like
Yeah.
it is hard because if you don't go to film school, you just have to kind of like immediately get into the freelance thing and just start like going as crazy as you can. Obviously,
Absolutely.
it's like it's good to try to like get in somewhere like steady too, because that's good for when you're first starting out, is like if you find your way into something steady, whatever that may be for the industry that you're in. But like the best thing for me from film school was just all of my classmates and just like hanging out with them and like going on sets with them and
contacts.
Yeah, just having the contacts, and like a lot of them like live out here in LA now, and I still like talk to a lot of them, and that's the best aspect too, because even like if you're in between jobs or something too, it's like one of them might have something for you, it's like just having a little grip gig or something like that, it's like that's so important.
I saw a thing from Samuel L. Jackson was saying he's always nice to PAs because he never knows when that PA is going to become a producer and give him a role.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I guess my problem with schooling is when they start trying to teach you how to use a program, or like the technical side of things, like this is how you do that, and it's like, I don't want school to teach me something that I'm going to be better at learning on my own by experimenting and practicing. Yeah. I want school to teach me theory. I want to know why this concept works over that concept. I want to know the theory behind certain approaches and how to consider and how to think about certain ideas.
Yeah, it's like...
whereas, like, I don't know, people ask about going to like VFX school, and I'm just like, don't go to VFX school. Don't go to a school where they teach you how to use a program. But that's my opinion, and I'm sure the people who have done that and have gone down that path think it's great, and they will disagree with me. That's fine.
Yeah, because there's always like successes and failures from any option that you pick. It's like there's people that went to VFX school that are probably doing like really big budget, crazy VFX in movies right now. And then there's also a lot of people who are probably like, that was the biggest waste of time in my entire life. But
I just
it's
think
so hard to say definitively.
I'm kind of with you on this because like I did like learn some decent techniques in school. I feel like a lot of the technique I learned did end up being like I looked stuff up on the internet or something. Going to a college or university is no longer the only way to get access to professionals teaching you professional techniques.
Yeah, especially today.
Which was the case up until like the age of the internet. But like some of the best things I learned were like from my friends, like being around like a certain group of people and like kind of discovering the kind of artist I wanted to be. Or one of my illustration professors, Jeremy Tinder, gave me this amazing bit of wisdom when I was like working on a project, and I was just coming up with like really generic imagery, and he was like, well, if you're trying to reach a lot of people emotionally, don't try to come up with something that you think everyone can relate to, because then it will just be generic. Find a hyper specific example from your life that evokes that feeling, because then people maybe won't have an experience like the same experience, but it'll be so personal that it will remind them of something hyper specific to their life. Whereas if you're just like, oh, this is something everyone can relate to, like it'll just be boring.
Yeah.
And like that's something that stuck with me since I was 20 years old,
Sure.
That's the kind of thing I absolutely wouldn't have or I mean, maybe I would have picked it up from a YouTube video, but it's like I wouldn't have gotten that advice unless I was in that room with him.
Yeah, that's like one of
Yeah.
the other big reasons for going to school like that is like, especially like something like USC too, where it's like a lot of the faculty there are going to be like really experienced, or hopefully at least, is that like you might have a professor that is super knowledgeable about the thing that you're most interested in, and they have the best, most like prescient advice on that exact topic, and
Yeah.
it's like you get a little mentor, you get like it's like an apprenticeship almost, where it's like you are getting direct feedback from someone who's done it and from someone who knows what they're talking about and is able to relay that to you, which if you don't go, it's way harder to find that.
And there's also the whole aspect of like, why do you want to go to college? For most people, you have to go to college to get a job, because it's like, if you break it down, the interaction is like, I am an employer and I want to hire the best person for this job. And the easiest way to filter out and sort through those people are the ones who have college degrees. So you need to have a college degree in order to be accepted for what I do. But really, at the end of the day, it should just be, can I trust that you are going to be able to provide what I need? And especially for the arts, the college degree doesn't matter. It's more about the real. It's more about like demonstrating that you are capable of doing something that the employer needs. And so like, having a demo reel of visual effects, meaning like, oh yeah, this guy can do effects, I'm going to hire him for my next film type stuff, right? My college experience was incredibly different from everyone else here, because I went to school for engineering.
Yeah.
It was very science and math heavy. It was very, what's the word for it? Where you have to like, it's not regulation. It's like there's exams that you have to pass to be able to be certified for certain things.
Yeah.
Regimented? Is that?
I think certification is actually the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for. It's like it's basically that, because it's like, okay, if you're going to be designing all of these things that people will interact with, and if you design it wrong, people die, you have to be sure that you're accredited.
Or like medical school, where it's like you need
Even
to know
more
how to
so.
sew a heart up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why that schooling system is so regimented and grueling. Who's coming in? Oh, what up, Nick?
Grabbing the camera.
Yeah, so it's like my schooling was very like, you cannot be an engineer without having gone to engineering school. You can teach yourself pretty much 99% of the engineering theory. You can teach yourself all the information is out there. You can learn it. You can
1, 2, 3, 4,
yeah
5, 6, 7.
But
dude, yeah,
all the way up
8, 9,
to
10,
like 10 or
you're
so.
good.
Yeah.
if I want to hire a civil engineer to build a freaking bridge
Yeah.
across like a little ravine, I don't want a self-taught engineer.
Or a filmmaker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, and also I'll never forget, I was in my material science class, and and my professor decided to have an episode about, or a lesson, an episode.
What's up, students? We have an epic episode for you today. We're going to be learning about the number 10.
So make sure to smash that tuition button.
But so he was saying is like, he just wanted to talk about life, and one of the things he was basically pressing on us is that, like, listen, 85% of the stuff you learn in college, you will forget because you're not going to use it. And that's okay. The 10 or 15% that you do remember is because that's the stuff that you're using every day. But so much, especially for engineering, so much of the point of the school wasn't actually retaining that knowledge. It's the fact that you learned it in the first place. Because a degree in engineering is really a degree in thinking and a degree in learning. So it's like, because I learned how to do like freaking vector calculus at some point, I don't know how to do that anymore. But at some point, my brain tried really hard on how to learn that. And so now I know how to learn better now because of that experience.
You don't know how to do vector calculus?
No, not anymore. I used to be really good at triple integrals, but I can't do them anymore.
It's a little embarrassing.
Dang,
Griffin, maybe
so-
we shouldn't
Yeah.
talk to him as much
I'm
anymore.
a little
I
embarrassed.
don't know,
No, I got a D in calculus.
Ooh.
Calculus 3 and 4. I almost flunked out of college.
Wow.
I was put on academic probation twice.
Oh my gosh. And here you are
Because-
now.
Because I started not really taking my classes that seriously. I started prioritizing playing Halo with all my roommates and floor mates at the dorm. and partying and having a good time and not going to my 8 a.m. classes. And then suddenly my grades started doing poorly, and then I started having to reevaluate my life, and I turned it around and started doing pretty well in school, and then graduated college and was like, I'm not going to use any of it. I promptly never used my diploma, but I still say to this day that I use my degree all the time.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, dude, I don't use my diploma at all. Like, especially like what you said about using, it's about your portfolio, it's about your reel.
Yeah.
Not only that, but then like once I made the transition from like marketing to entertainment, the thing I really learned in a big way was like, for better and for worse, your reputation, like how well you get along with people in at least like Hollywood and Hollywood adjacent stuff, matters more than your resume. Like, if you're looking to get a job in Hollywood, gang chat, I hate to say it, but like being as likable as possible is really the selling point. I have seen,
but don't overdo it, because then you come off like weird.
Yeah, there's like a bit of an art to just be cool. Just be chill,
cool,
man.
Be yourself.
Just be
and
chill.
Yeah,
But
just be
I've
yourself.
literally seen in hiring processes be like, oh, well, should we bring that guy? Like, nah, he was kind of a dick. Let's who's that one guy? Oh yeah, he was chill. Yeah, let's bring him in.
I mean, that's why Jordan got hired.
Which one?
Jalen.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. He's a great guy.
No, but
He
it was
was
like
lying
it was
for that
literally
interview.
it was like there. It came down to like 5 different people that were kind of interviewing, and he got the job. And it basically kind of came down to, on top of him being good at effects, everyone was good at effects, but he was the most likable person. He had the most like engaging personality, and it was like he would be fun to work with. Let's have him around.
And
Yeah.
how he's tanked that.
I know,
And,
man. It's just
to-
been downhill ever since.
To dystopian, I also want to shout out how Ian and Olaf have in the background just been having like a very good conversation about like the ancient world and stuff. But
Sumerian times.
for the like, everyone knows a huge D triple asterisk who made it insanely far. We're not talking about being a good person. We're talking about being likable. We're talking
Yeah.
about being charismatic, right?
Because like you could be like kind of like terse, or maybe maybe like a little standoffish, but like if you're getting the job done, it's like, I like you,
Yeah.
like that's what I'm looking for,
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think all of us know someone who's like a massive D triple asterisk, but it's like, we're not saying that you have to be a really good, like a good person to make it far in Hollywood. That clearly is not the case.
Clearly.
We
It's a
don't
matter
need to
of
get
trust.
into it, but like, just
At the end of the day, it just comes down to relationships.
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's literally 100% have a good relationship with people, and that will flourish. Or that, like, it's like a seed. Every relationship is a seed, and it grows over time. And if you stop watering it, well, it's going to wilt.
Mm-hmm.
And if you chop it down with, like, burning a bridge, it's, like, definitely not going to do well.
Yeah.
and if it grows enough, you can sell its fruits on the black market outside of the purview of the FDA.
Think about relationships kind of like
You're growing
like
weed at
you're
home.
like you're the think about it like the movie Alien, right? Like you're planting a seed or like an egg inside of every person, and then
Every person you meet, you're implanting an egg in their chest.
a parasite. Think about yourself as like a be a parasite to everyone you know.
Yeah. Be a parasite to everyone you know. Maybe that's a little different than what you were saying a moment ago.
Can I move in with you and Jenna?
I take it back. That's exactly what you were saying a minute ago.
Hey, if you got an extra room,
Dude, Jenna's gonna freak out when she hears you say that.
Dude,
She's working today, so she's not in the chat. But
from what I remember of the dream, it was a pretty sweet apartment.
Great.
Might be a
Sick.
downgrade from where you guys are living now, but it was pretty sweet for me.
we're renting a house right now that is actually a pretty nice situation because like it wasn't ever on the market. The person who was there moved out, and we knew that person, so we're able to basically just like get in.
Oh.
And so our rent is a little bit lower than the rest of the neighborhood rent, and it's like solid spot for our 2 dogs. We have a backyard and garage. It's like can't complain. And so we don't want to
great.
move out of it. I only want to move out of it if I can actually finally buy a house
Yeah.
someday. I hope.
I feel like there's a lot of people in LA that are like living in a place that they can't ever move out of because they have lucked into it. And
Yeah.
it's like you can't ever
Like your rent
Ding,
control
ding,
place.
ding. Yeah, dude.
That was almost me with an apartment and my buddy. We like moved into a place and they accidentally sold it to us for like $1,000 less than it was supposed to go for.
Oh, boy.
But and we got the keys. We like signed because like we were like, oh my god, this is so
get
cheap. Give it to us now. And the guy was like, okay, here you go. And then it was like a little bit later they realized that they made a mistake and we're like, oh my god, we need you guys to pay $1,000 more. And we're like, no. Like we signed the stuff.
Yeah.
A lease is a contract, boys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's like we had you guys look over. We even asked them for that number in writing to like in email. We're like, okay, so and that was the offer, right? It was like that was it. It's like, yeah, we're good. We'll be taking that. And so then as we're like talking about it with each other, me and the roommate, we're just like, we can't ever leave this place. We're just like, we will never be able to. We're like calculate. We're like, okay, if it increases by like 5% every year, it's like it would take like a decade to get past where it should have been when we first got into it.
Wow.
And it was like, and my roommate's mom is a lawyer, and so she was like, yeah, they're screwed. But like it turned into like this whole ordeal that was super stressful because we were just trying to move in. And this was in like 2021, so it's still kind of like in the middle-ish of COVID, and so it was just like, I just want to be in an apartment. I don't want to have to be worrying about this because the guy was like, you can't move in, like don't move in. And then the roommate's mom was like, you cannot speak to him anymore. If he ever wants to talk to you, like the leasing guy, tell him that our attorneys will be speaking to him instead. And it was just my roommate's mom. And they're just like, we literally cannot give you this apartment for this amount of money because it's way too cheap now. And we ended up like working out like a deal where it was like, we split the difference for like a year. And it was like, it wasn't technically, it was like they were giving it to us for like the full price, but then almost like a coupon took off.
Yeah, like give you like commission.
Half that amount of money that they were gonna accidentally not get. So it's like instead of $1,000 off, it was like a $500 off every month.
Okay. But you weren't able to keep the original prices set on your contract?
No, well, it's like we could have, but the guy was like, I'm going to fight this like super hard if you guys go
it's one of those
through
things
this.
that's like, okay, we have the contract here, but you want to fight?
Yeah.
I'm not interested in a fight.
My roommate's mom even knew that guy's boss because like she just knows a lot of lawyers or something like that, and she like talked to some people that knew like California like property law too.
Yeah.
And then she ended up like knowing the person who's like in charge of the company that owns that building that is essentially that guy's boss.
Yeah.
And was just like, you guys messed up big time. And like all of the other lawyers that she talked to were like, oh yeah, they're like the apartment's screwed. These boys, they can get that apartment and there's nothing they can do about it. And like, so we had like multiple lawyers just like in on this thing, and they're all like, yeah, they messed up. You guys can get this for $1,000 less or whatever. But we ultimately were just like, they're gonna challenge it like every step of the way. And then we also don't want to be like walking on eggshells like in the apartment too.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna try to find, because the lawyers were also like, oh, and they also can't like retaliate and like evict you for something, because then that would be like retaliation or something. And so we're like, listen, man, we just want to freaking live. We don't want to. I'm like in the middle of move. Like I moved into the apartment. My mom helped me, and I was literally like, we can't go through the lobby to go to the elevator.
At least the apartment didn't turn into sand.
Yeah. That was. I was like, as long as that's not happening, I'm just gonna move in. I'll accept any conditions. But we couldn't use the elevator to move in because the leasing office is right there, and I did not want to walk in front of Fred. And so I was like,
Fred.
So I was like, Mom, we're gonna have to take the stairs, and it was on the fourth floor. And so, my mom's a lovely woman, and she really helped out that day. And so is my roommate's mom. She didn't help with the moving, but she helped with the legalities. And yeah, that was a nightmare scenario. I would have happily moved in with Wren and Jenna if that was happening again.
So, I mean, they're offering. So.
But yeah, it was one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, like if that just happened, if we were able to get that, then never leaving.
Yeah. If for all the chatters and replay viewers who aren't aware, renting in California is incredibly messed up in 2025. It should not be this much of a headache to just simply want a roof over your head in a part of the country you live in.
And God forbid you have like certain extra items you want to have, like an enclosed yard,
Yeah.
and
That's, like,
and be able to
exponentially
rent
so
a
much
place
more.
with 2 dogs
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
and
sorry.
have room for 2 cars.
Dude, when it comes to things like pet rent, get me so riled up because especially like pet rent was not a thing when I moved from like in Illinois. It was just like you either can have a cat or you can have a dog or you can have either or you can have neither. It was just like basically like you can have pets or not.
Right.
The idea of like having to pay extra every month to have a dog, it's like, dude, I'm sorry, but if I have like a dog in my house and I don't know, it's like I'm not paying $200 a month on the off chance that its nails scratch up the floor a little bit. The whole point of renting is that as the house gets lived in, it gets worn a little bit, but I don't own it. You do, and you're making money off of me, so you will repair the floors if they get stretched. You know, it's like,
Or take it
That
out of
should
your
just be factored in.
deposit.
You know,
Deposit.
It's like an occasional patch on a wall. That's factored in.
It's
you know.
Again, and I feel like this isn't me being super entitled. It's like that's the point of the arrangement. So like my dog doesn't make money. If my dog had a job, if it was like in commercials for Iams dog food or for
If it was Grumpy
collars,
Cat.
if it was Grumpy Cat, if it was,
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
yeah, what kind of numbers is Grumpy Cat doing?
Many.
More than
Many?
200 a month.
The best numbers.
The best
So many numbers.
Wow. They're only going up.
That's crazy,
Not anymore.
man. I don't understand numbers very well, guys. Speaking of like calculus, I'm not diagnosed, so I don't want to diagnose myself, but I think I have what's it called? Is it dyscalculia?
What?
Dyslexia?
There's dyslexia for numbers, and I'm pretty sure I have it
Oh, wow. Interesting. I've not heard of this.
because I
How old are you?
10.
my name's Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
Numbers, right?
I'm 30. I'm either 32 or 25.
Well, I was gonna say if you're 32,
Me too.
then you would accidentally say 23.
Oh, I was gonna say
You swap.
23, but I got the numbers wrong, so I said 25.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was trying to set you up for a dyscalculia joke, but
Yeah.
the dyscalculia struck first.
Well,
No, it's-
guys,
yeah.
Should we go into
Yeah.
I think it's about that time. This was a good podcast. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys, talking dinos and
Talking
talking
big dinos.
life, philosophy, filmmaking,
yeah
college,
Numbers.
Dreams.
I didn't understand
Dreams.
them.
Beautiful
but
dreams.
sandy dreams?
horrible, terrible dreams for some of us?
Also, just a quick call out. The marble video came out, and that started here on the podcast.
Yeah,
Oh.
Marble Run.
Sam can't be on this podcast today because he got
'Cause he's
a
sick.
bug. He got a stomach bug, but
He had a marble tear through his
is
intestines.
crazy to watch that saga, occur, like birth and then
Yeah,
culminate into
I
the best
had
video
to
of the
convince
year.
Sam on multiple occasions to keep with it.
Yeah,
Because like I really wanted this video to be a thing, and Sam was like, and then he got really into it for like a week, and then was like, it's not working. I don't want to do it. And I was like, no, we're so close. Just
you
do
just gotta
it.
figure it out.
Just figure it out. Just do it.
And he did.
And then it turned into a really awesome video. Matt did a good job editing it, making
so
it
glad
look like
he
an
used-
F1 documentary. It was
Yeah,
great.
He used our Atlas lenses.
Yeah.
Atlas anamorphic lenses. And
Yeah.
we may or may not be using those on the Scale of Dinosaurs a little bit.
Maybe a
Maybe it may have been a little inspired by how beautiful those lenses look. So expect some nice visuals in the coming future.
But yeah, if you haven't checked out the Marble Run video on the Corridor Crew channel, you should give it a shot.
Maybe one of
It's
us in this
pretty
room
good.
wins.
It has no right to be as good as it is. I'll
Yeah.
put it that way.
It's so sick.
It's such an engaging video because it's literally a drama video that happens to deal with some digital marbles.
That one really was for all the marbles.
It was, yeah. Or not a drama video, but like it's dramatic.
Yeah.
That's what I mean to say. But yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for watching if you're tuned in live. And we will see you on the next podcast, which may or may not be next week or the week after. We have no consistency with podcasts.
Depends if our
'cause
internet
sometimes
goes
we're
out
busy.
again.
Sometimes we have no internet.
But we're gonna get fiber.
Yes, we
Hopefully,
are.
yeah.
get
Hopefully
fiber
soon
soon.
we're
That's
moving
in
to
motion.
fiber.
It's just taking
So
some time.
the next time there's not a podcast, it's probably because we're getting fiber installed.
Yeah, it's the only downside is our internet's now going to get 10 times more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
gonna
think it'll be
10
worth
times
it.
faster.
So, yeah.
we can do 10 times as many podcasts.
Oh,
Hey now.
got that in you, Christian?
All right, we're going to move to the post show here. So if you're a corridordigital.com subscriber, you're going to continue watching us chat. Thanks for watching, everyone. And 3, 2, 1.